Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined in the studio, he's telepathic, he's a super soldier, he's the Montauk Tailor.
Well, hey, good evening, good evening, good evening.
How is that for an introduction?
Hey, yeah, I like it, man.
Welcome to another epic edition of the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
New listeners and repeat offenders from around the globe.
Keep offending.
Thanks. It's been another week.
It has.
And we passed the 100 milestone now, so thanks for everyone who joined us last week on the live show and everyone who's been involved for the past 100 episodes.
Yes, thank you very much.
But never mind all that. We've got our next 100 to get through yet.
Yeah.
So we're kicking it off.
Cracking.
Well, let's get cracking indeed. We're kicking it off with an absolute beauty of a case.
We have.
A project, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Inspiration to the hit Netflix show Stranger Things.
Yes.
Where we'll be talking about, of course, the Montauk Project. Oh, my God. We have so much to talk about on this one. It's so good. Yes. Been saving this one.
Yes, we have.
But other than that, it's been a week. What have you been up to, Mr. T?
No, well, just paperwork and stuff like that. Mainly researching.
You leave a thrilling fucking life, you do, sir. I'll tell you that. I've been doing the paperwork, filling out the admin, doing a bit of the accounts.
You know, you got to do these things.
Got to do these things.
People coming for you. You don't want the tax man after you.
Tax man. Get the tax man at the door. You don't need that.
No.
So, yeah,
Yourself,
other than that, seriously, is that all you've been up to?
Yeah.
You had quite a chilled one, to be honest. After all the stress of the 100 last week, I was quite happy to just go,
leave it alone, like I'm just chilling.
Cup of tea. Week. Sit down and a cup of tea.
Yeah.
That was good.
And a biscuit.
And a biscuit. Yeah, you got to have a biscuit. Well, gotta say, let's hear it for the boys. Oh my God, this week's episode of The Boys was amazing. You've just started watching it, haven't you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm on episode 6 of series 1, and I'm thinking, well, after the first 2, it was like, I don't think I'm going to end up watching this.
I couldn't believe when you said that, but you've obviously kept on it, and you've
I'll give it a try.
You
know what I mean? And I don't mind it. I think
stuff.
It's all right.
Season 2's shaping up really good. Yeah. I think diabolical.
Don't tell me nothing.
Diabolical is the word I'm going to use.
Diabolical.
Fucking bollical. Yeah, it's a great series. Other than that, watched that this week. I've been watching other stuff as well, but for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what it is. Just been watching movies, I suppose. Just movies. I did watch Ghostbusters again. Yeah, right. Something did dawn on me. I tweeted it out, and it was like, do you know when Peter Venkman goes to meet Dana for his date?
Oh, yeah.
Right, well, she's all, are you the gatekeeper?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, but, you know. And obviously she's in a bit of a kind of a state where she's in a trance and whatnot. Yeah. But, like, one thing that kind of made me wonder is when he calls up Egon, he says, yeah, I've got the gatekeeper here. She's under, I've sedated her, right? He was going on a date. Why did he feel the need to have sedatives on him?
Well, he was planning something else.
I mean, I know it was the 80s and everything, but you know what I mean? It was like, it just dawned on me. I was like, why did Peter Venkman have, like, date rape drugs on him? So, once you rewatch it, you'll swing onto it now, and you just won't ever be able to rewatch it the same, to be honest.
Yeah, now you've told me.
Now I've said, I mean, honestly, I can't believe it never dawned on me before, to be fair, but like I say, it was an awakening.
I bet you can't wait for the new one, no?
No, I can't. And they've been pushing it back. It should have been released already.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But obviously, I think a release like that definitely deserves a cinematic.
Like we're going back to the cinemas. Yeah, I can't.
Well, not at the moment, like I say.
No.
Other than that, I've been working on a few projects, playing around with deep fakes.
Oh, yes.
Say deep fakes. There's a few apps that you can get which do really good face
You did
swaps.
some beautiful ones of me, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I was sending him some. He's Taylor in it, so he had to stick his face on Taylor Swift and send in the video. You know, it's like it's only fair.
I look sexy, man. I don't care.
That is
I look sexy.
Absolutely debatable. But you know, oh dear, we will go into it a bit more in the news, I'm sure. But second wave, it's looking imminent.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to that.
No,
to be
so
honest.
prepare for a second one, I think.
Make sure you got plenty of beans and toiletries in the house. Yes. Loads of bog roll, because you know what's going to come next, don't you?
You know what? That's one problem I haven't had a problem with. Bog roll.
Bog roll.
Yeah, always, right, I'll go in and grab
I was
some.
watching something, actually, quite interesting about... Well, it wasn't
What,
about toilet
roll?
paper. It was about bunkers and preppers.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying, like, well, they asked, why have you got bidets in the bunker? You know, and they said, well, basically, we did the maths, and it'd take up an entire floor of the bunker with toilet paper for the amount of people that it'd accommodate for them amount of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... For a space-saving thing, they decided bidets.
Well,
don't need toilet paper then, do you?
Hold on, you've got enough ground there to dig another little hole.
Oh yeah, I know, but it costs money, doesn't it, just for storage space?
Well, if you want the toilet roll, you know you've got to pay for it.
They're the prices you got to pay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
tracing paper.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, but come on, these are obviously alternatives. But moving on, you could always use the job pages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I realise at the moment, you know, since the world going to shit, you know, talking about toilets. And let's face it, there's a lot of people out there losing their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard times.
Yeah.
And, you know, got me thinking, how can we help, you know, here on the Never a Straight Answer podcast? There must be a way.
Oh, yeah.
So we've come up with a new segment where we'll look for the best opportunities the world job market has to offer.
Oh, yeah. Only the quality.
And, so... Oh, God, what was that? Oh, I did a little...
Did it?
New job with Never a Straight Answer.
Yeah.
Jingle. Anyway, right, so... I had a look round to see what was available, you know what I mean?
You did.
You know, these, like I say, you don't want to be just rushing in and getting the first job. You know, we want to, you know, help you get a, you know, we want all our listeners, we want our listeners to have the very best opportunities when it comes to the next career.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So with that in mind, you know, we've had a bloody good look round and we've had a look for some job roles. Yeah.
I think we've got some good ones, eh?
I do. I think, well, this one I thought for you, Taylor.
I'm going for it.
This is a job that you'd absolutely love this, right?
I'd excel at this.
A Finnish hotel are looking for a full-time pro sleeper.
Yep, I do that. Yeah. Right.
So he or she will basically sleep in different rooms of the hotel and critique for comfort, you know, comfort of the beds.
Yeah.
Any improvements that they want to make, you know, just to, you know, improve the guest experience. Yeah. Right.
I can do that. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
NASA actually posts jobs for professional sleepers too.
Hey, I'm going for that.
So you know. Thinking about it, I mean, this Finnish hotel is one thing, but NASA, you know, it's a different level.
Well, if you're going to be travelling through space, you can.
Well, this is it. You see, since the space agency have been preparing and prepping for the missions to Mars, they've been studying the effects of the body being laid down for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So they're prepared to pay you $12,000
for
70 days chilling.
Hey. I'm up for that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty decent.
As long as he feed me, I'm all right.
I believe you've got what would you reckon? Do you think so? I do understand that that's be a really good sort of job. I mean, it's only 70 days work though, the NASA one.
Yeah, but
I can imagine the hotel chain that'd be a bit more continuous work. They'd send you to different branches.
Yeah,
you know.
But you got $12,000 there. I mean, that it's a low wage, but you know that could.
For 70 days work, that's a decent wage for 70 days, but I mean, it's like, you know, you're back to
you go to NASA,
job,
then you go to hotel, then you go to NASA again, then you go to hotel.
I suppose, because you are, aren't you? You're a professional sleeper.
Yeah, that's it. And someone else is going to hire you somewhere, I would imagine.
Have you found any? I know you've been having a look as well. What did you find? Because you wouldn't tell me earlier. I'm assuming they're going to be crude, panda fluffer or something.
Crude? No. Well, I seen a nice little job in Japan.
Go on.
Professional pusher. Which I'm.
You can do that in England.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Not
do that anywhere.
Not like this, though.
Right.
So people get to work on time. And not like, missing your train and that. You've got professional pushers who will push you onto the train when it's crammed.
Oh, no way. So they'll just cram you in?
Yeah,
I don't want that. That's why we've got Corona.
An easy job. Some people go out there and start kicking your ass.
I'm not being funny, but unfortunately, in this climate, I don't think that there's much call for a professional pusher.
You get a pair of white gloves.
I don't think there's much call for it, though. No one's travelling on tubes at the moment.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, but they're calling for some.
Well, I'm assuming that once everyone gets back to normal, that job will come back.
Well, there's either that or you could go to Tokyo.
I'm a pusher man. What do you do for a living? I push people on trains.
Yeah, I'm a pusher.
It's better than pushing people off trains.
Well, yeah, that's true, especially when it's still going.
Yeah. Go on.
Or you could go to Tokyo and be a professional rented boyfriend.
A rent boy?
Professional rented boyfriend.
So a rent boy?
Well, no.
You're a gigolo.
Well, no.
Is what you are.
Well,
so basically,
yeah.
So you can be someone's boyfriend for the afternoon. Get the full boyfriend package.
Yeah, that's
full boyfriend experience. Flowers.
A little. But yeah,
we'll ring your mum.
Yeah.
Say, how you can see where she got all the good looks from. Those types
give
of
it the old
things.
charm.
Give it the charm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally. So how much is this paying? And I mean, is it a lucrative job opportunity? Is what I'm wondering.
Well, yeah, I should imagine. Well, if the going rates are like good in this country, it must be good down there. You know what I mean? I reckon they're going for a good rate. It depends how many are there as well. If there's not too many lads out there who are going, I'm not being your pretend boyfriend for the afternoon.
Why? What's so wrong with being the pretend boyfriend for the afternoon?
Well, this is it. You know what?
You are basically. They are called escorts, and you can do that in any country.
But they are actually known in Tokyo for to be rented boyfriends.
Right. Okay.
There is no rented girlfriends yet.
You see, they've got
a
gap
as
in
that
the market.
Happens, that's a good idea. That. Yeah.
You see, I don't know.
But
then
again, you could put that down to prostitution.
There is holes in this.
Yeah, there is holes.
Anyway, well, get applying, guys.
True jobs.
We'll have another look, see what other randomly cool jobs we can find for you next week.
I think we can find toilet and blocker.
Also, if you want to get involved in our segment, What's Fucked Up Where You're From, you can drop us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com and tell us what freaky things have been happening and transpiring around your area. And we could be featuring you. We've had some great places over the last 100 episodes.
We have.
But yeah, it's hit and miss, you see, because some weeks we get loads and then sometimes we don't get any. So, if you're interested, send us an email.
Yeah.
So, moving on, before we get on to the Montauk Project, which is, well, I know what everyone's dying to listen to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do have a riddle for you.
Oh, you have? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
I thought I'd give you an easy one. Because I thought we'll start off a fresh page. Yeah, right. I'll hit you up with this one. Next week, you've got a riddle for me, yeah?
Okay.
Right? And I feel it's like I'm putting you on the spot. So we can't have that.
Right.
But and I thought we'll give you quite an easy one this month as well.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, don't be too easy.
What?
Don't be too easy.
Right.
Give me a bit of difficulty in there.
Okay.
I don't want too easy.
Hang on, just give me a moment.
Yeah, wait.
Right, okay. So, what is... hang on. I've got to get the ambience right. It's not right. 1 second.
It's not right. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Right. For £100.
Oh, $100.
For $100 pounds.
Yeah.
What is always in front? But can... oh, wait, hang on. That was the wrong riddle. Hang on. Let me start again. I'm no Chris Tarrant.
You're not,
right.
Definitely not.
Okay, so
can I phone a friend?
Phone a friend, right? Okay, you've only got one lifeline left.
Oh, right.
Are you sure you want to phone a friend?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the £100, right? What is full of holes, but will still hold water?
What is full of holes, but still will?
It's full of holes, but still holds water.
Oh, the ocean.
Nope. You're very close, though.
A lake?
No. I'd say it comes in the ocean. It's in the ocean.
It's in the ocean?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I don't want to give you too many clues. And on that note, yeah, while you think about it, I'll tell the good people at home about this week's affiliate sponsor link. Hey! Yeah. Well, this week, HelloFresh. We're in association with HelloFresh. Fresh ingredients, easy to follow recipes, and straight to your doorstep. You can enjoy stress-free home cooking.
With it.
And get 50% off your first box, 20% off your second and third, fourth. Oh, they're just giving you 20% off here, there, and everywhere. Spend less time shopping and cut down food waste whilst enjoying delicious meals every week.
Why not try?
These boxes are cool.
Off.
Yeah, everything you need in the box comes with the recipe cards, all that stuff. So yeah, and you get delicious grub on your plate. So yeah, HelloFresh customers as well waste about 21% less food than those buying from a supermarket because when you get the box, it's got literally everything you need in the box. So you don't need to throw anything away. You don't have to make bigger portions.
No massive separate packaging for each individual item.
Not bad though. So there's a link in the description. Check out HelloFresh. Yeah, really good stuff. Yeah. And we can't recommend them high enough. So that's true. There you go. And that's it for the advert sponsors section of the episode. And now I know you've been waiting for it because this is it. Do you know one of the things we do get? And I do appreciate this. Yeah, right. That they go, oh, the episode was called this, and we wanted to listen to that, but you got to listen to 20 minutes before you get to the good stuff. And it's like, yeah, we know, but we're a show, you know. We like to deliver the full, complete package. And that doesn't mean jumping in at the deep end straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Say hello first.
Introduce, you get into it. Do you know what I mean? But I think you'll be very pleasantly happy that you waited anyway. Yeah. Because this week we're going to be talking about the Montauk Project.
Oh, yeah.
Montauk Project, obviously, it's a conspiracy theory. And this theory alleges that there were a series of secret US government projects conducted at Camp Hero, as well as other camps, on Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk, New York, Long Island, for the purposes of developing psychical warfare techniques and other exotic research.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I love it when they call it exotic research.
Yeah, what's exotic about it?
Well, time travel is as exotic as it gets. Yeah. True. Talking about far off places and seeing new, go into exotic places. Alien tech.
Oh yeah, you like a little.
That's exotic.
Yeah, definitely.
Human experimentation, and all for the goal of creating super soldiers.
No, I'm not.
With mind control abilities.
No, mind fuck shit, no, man.
Well, obviously, the whole series, of like Stranger Things was kind of like, they say, inspired by.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can kind of see that in the series where you've got human experimentation, experimentation on children, as well as the more sci-fi elements with the monsters, for instance, like the mind flayers and the kind of elements that the series Stranger Things brings up are kind of similar in a lot of ways when you do look into the Montauk Project. So you can see why people... Because you've never actually seen Stranger Things, have you?
No.
That's crazy, man. I do keep recommending him series, and it's very rare he dives on one.
Well,
but I'm trying to hope that now he's kind of seeing that my my taste in TV shows are pretty decent.
Yeah, but then when I look at that, I can't look at other things, and them other things might be better for me.
Well, the stories of the Montauk Project actually started to circulate in the early 1980s, according to UFO researcher Jacques Vallée. But the origins go back at least to 1943 with the alleged Philadelphia experiment that sparked the interest in finding out why interdimensional travel was so damaging to humans.
Yeah.
So this is why the project continued, because we've actually done an episode on the Philadelphia experiment, which is episode 70, Mysterious Disappearances, the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And just to fill you in, the Philadelphia experiment, or Project Rainbow, was an alleged military experiment that's supposed to have been used to carry out which was carried out on the U.S. Navy vessel, the Philadelphia USS Eldridge.
Yeah.
And it happened in Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, Pennsylvania, around about October 28th, 1943.
Yeah.
Right? So we've covered it, right? The idea about the experiment was that they wanted to create a cloaking device to evade enemy detection. Okay? So, but when they did it, there was major problems. It didn't operate as expected, and there was apparently complications in terms of like the vessel vanished.
Yeah.
Right. It was supposed to have rematerialized at another shipyard elsewhere. No way it could have travelled there in that time.
No.
On its return, there was more complications where shipmates and like crew were allegedly trapped in the bulkhead of the boat and sort of fused to the ship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in trying to invent cloaking, they've invented teleportation by accident.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not safe, and they can't understand what's gone on, what's gone wrong.
Yeah.
They need to kind of go away and re-examine these effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where Project Phoenix comes in, right?
Yeah.
So you'd think that, obviously after a lot of the crew were messed up and the experiments and the project seemed to be closed down, but the US government admits performing experiments, on quantum, psychical and mind control physics stuff like, psychical warfare at Brookhaven Labs during the Phoenix project.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So sometime in the early 1950s, the surviving researchers from the original Project Rainbow began to discuss the project with the eye to continuing the research on technical aspects of manipulating electromagnetic bottlenecks. Yeah. So what they wanted to do is that's what happened with the Eldridge. They were able to sort of bottleneck the electromagnetic energy to the point where it made the ship vanish, right? Yeah. Like they forced it through time, basically. Yeah. And they wanted to know how they could replicate that. And so they decided they wanted to kind of carry on those researches, right? And try and make sense of it. So, obviously it worked on the Eldridge.
Or not, depending on how you see it.
It was invisible, but not for the right reasons. Yeah. And obviously they wanted to kind of try and use those magnetic field energies for their advantages at the end of the day. No matter what the outcome was,
be used for war.
If it can be used, if it's got military application, then they're straight on it, aren't they? They're not going to be bothered about whether it was the original purpose or not. It was like an added bonus, if you like.
Yeah, definitely.
So ultimately, it went wrong, the Philadelphia experiment. You can, obviously re-engineered it to try and make it safer. And, basically
things were not going right.
But basically the humans on the boat, they got fucked up. There wasn't
radiation poisoning.
They weren't safe. Well. And obviously the electromagnetic field was too strong. There was really no sort of way any human was going to come out of that.
Yeah.
He had even psychological problems after the fact.
Yeah.
So it gets us on to Project Phoenix, right? Or the Phoenix Project.
Yeah, right. Which is originally to CIA to make agents or super soldiers to kill...
I'd say that was part of the aim.
That was the beginnings of it, but then it changed.
It changed so much because I think they were just given free rein to do whatever they wanted down there. I mean, the original Phoenix Project was led by Dr. Newman. He was a mathematician, theological physicist, one of the minds behind the modern computer. He was asked to carry out the experiments at Brookhaven National Laboratory in the early 1950s. It was all backed by the US government. The research that was carried out was paid for by the government. It was obviously being used by branches of the government or intended to be used by them. Yeah. So it wasn't the first time the US have been involved in this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'd say, like we've just said, if it was beneficial and they could gain some sort of advantage out of it, it'd be a case that they'd use it. Would you agree?
Yeah. And they have used it. They used it basically for terrorism and stuff like that.
It's funny, actually, because they say they were backed by the US government, but one thing I did find out was that, US government backing was actually Nazi gold that they'd seized. So
off the train
but
that
it's
is supposed
funny
to have been found this year.
Because a lot of the scientists were drafted in from, Dr. Newman was German. He was he's a German engineer, physicist, mathematician, very clever man. But they've basically gone, we're going to put all your money and resources back to work. Yeah. So plus they had access to the vast database of information on experimentation conducted during the Second World War by the Nazis.
Yeah.
So they had all that to work with.
Yeah.
So they were able to basically pick up where the Nazis left off.
Yeah,
right.
basically.
They also had to think, obviously had that Nazi pot of gold, right? So it seemed like at the beginning when Project Phoenix... And Phoenix, again, what's the Phoenix known for?
Burning out and starting all over again.
Rising from the ashes, right? And obviously if, the Nazi program's just burnt down, I'd say that was a very good indication that there was some sort of affiliation. Well, who knows?
Didn't they have that on a flag as well?
What?
The Phoenix.
Maybe.
I think they had it on one of the
They did
flags.
have an eagle of some description, a bird, but I'm not sure what it was.
This is why I said it was one.
You're obviously saying what the goal was earlier about making super soldiers. I think the Newman's goal at the beginning is he wanted to find why interdimensional travel, time travel, or teleportation was so dangerous.
Yeah.
Because obviously we couldn't handle the magnetic fields or whatever. But he wanted to be able to link up machines to subjects using technology radio frequencies to create mind-reading machines, tapping into the body's bioelectrical signals, and even tapping into the soul or spirit. I was kind of in the Montauk Project by what's he called? The book. I've got it written down further down. Basically, he says that there was a distinction between tapping. It was the electromagnetic field that was keeping the body grounded, but there was frequencies that they were using that was able to tap into the spirit. So there was sort of
into the aura.
Yeah, so there was sort of like two things needed. They were needed to pin one aspect of you down so they could manipulate the other.
Yeah.
And it seems brutal. I mean, I don't know what sort of experimentation they were doing, but the ability to beam thoughts into people's heads obviously is a very dangerous capability to have.
Yeah.
You could divide armies, sway people's opinions, sway the religious beliefs. Sky's the limit, really, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So, obviously, having that means of mind control is something that would be quite sought after, I could imagine.
So much power. So much power.
So, it seems out a bit kind of far out, but, I mean, it gets worse, to be honest. Well, no, hypnotism, I mean... I don't dismiss the fact that there are people who are more in tune than others, right? And this Montauk thing does kind of go down that route because they talk about... what was it like? People who, they tried their experiments, but then they did another experiment there where they put psychics into the machine, and they were able to physically, produce matter. Yeah, and obviously we'll go into that a little bit later on. Yeah. But I think anything where you're kind of pushing signals into someone's head, that's almost like a lobotomization. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not going to leave your subject in a better frame of mind. I think it all seems a bit kind of like brutal medieval tactics, which you could argue got, taught a lesson and you learned something from it, yeah? But I'm probably sure that there was ways of doing it, because if you want to believe a lot of what the accounts of the subjects from the Montauk experiment and the earlier experiments, they weren't there by choice. No. They were all there potentially under duress or kidnapped, or for whatever reasons they've ended up in this facility. It seems a bit suspect. I mean, the project was it seems very underhanded, and I can imagine, based on stuff like MK Ultra, when that came out, that the government wouldn't really like that sort of stigma attached to them.
Keep all that secret, man.
Yeah, they definitely want to keep it a secret, and that's what made me think that's why they, basically disbanded the project. Congress.
Yeah, Congress
around
69.
Was it so it went for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, backed by the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where was it? Brookhaven.
Yeah.
Right. It's been going 20 years.
Yeah.
But at this point, virtually. Yeah.
But
God knows what sort of experiments were going on there, right?
Probably sickened.
They're beaming stuff into people's heads. They're trying to get results. I mean, I'm not being funny, but if if you had a project, right? Yeah. And you ran it for 10 years and you weren't getting any results, would you close it down? What's that old saying? I mean, crazies doing the same thing day in, day out and expecting different results.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly the same thing, right? At the end of the day, if you did something for 10 years and you got no results and no positive...
Well, if you've got no other opportunity and nothing else in the basket, then you're going to have to close it.
They're going to turn around and say, I've been spending government money for 20 years and I've not got anything to show for it. Yeah. Well, but maybe, but the fact that these guys... did it for 20 years suggests to me that they had and then moved facilities to another location to carry on that research. That suggests that there's something definitely in it. You know?
And the thing I can't believe is the second person who's actually going to be the one who's doing it, the scientist.
Yeah, you've got. I mean, we've talked about some brutal people over the past, episodes, and it's been like, what was he called? Hindler. No, the guy who did the experiments on twins, and I think it was Hindler. And just kind of like there are people out there who. I mean, you could argue they're doing it in the name of science, but it's under orders. You've got all that kind of shit in the dark. Now we'll go down them roads in a bit because, like, that kind of goes into the idea that this stuff's still happening. Yeah. So, I mean, going back to this Congress meeting, right? Congress have basically turned around and said, "Nah, we're not backing this anymore." Yeah. So obviously something's happened or something's got out. That's made Congress do a 180 and say, we don't want to be involved in this. We don't want to be seen as backing this. We threw it out. We're disbanding your project. Yeah. Right. But then this is a great thing that makes me think, well, it's all for show, right? It's all for plausible deniability. Yeah. The project's, unexpectedly saved by another backer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, these people have big, deep pockets and a lot of connections and obviously have an interest in what these guys are doing.
Well, funny enough, it was donated.
Well, yeah, exactly. It was donated by a branch of the Masons, of all people, of order of similar thing. Yeah. They've unexpectedly kind of swooped in and saved them. But the thing that makes me laugh is, right... I've come along, you're a government project, you're working under me, I'm the government, right?
Yeah.
So I turn around to you and say, your project's not working, mate, right? I'm sorry, but we're going to have to stop funding you.
No, give us a bit more time.
Right, no, it's been 20 years, we've got to stop funding you now, right? Sorry, but if you had results, you would have had them by now. We can't afford to keep putting it, and plus... what's going on is highly suspect. We can't, as the American government, we can't be seen having these sort of affiliations. So we're going to have to step back. Yeah, best of luck. Man. But your project shut down. We're seizing all your research. We're taking all your machines. You've got to be off the base by tea time.
What?
Yeah. Well, this is what would happen if you closed them down. Yeah. Right. But that's not what happened.
Nope.
Right. The US government who said, oh, yeah, we've got, we don't want anything to do with this. Yep. They just moved them to another base, right? It was still a military installation. They were moved to Camp Hero, which is in Montauk Air Force Station. And... Which is,
it's not a village.
Well, you were saying it was donated to them.
Yeah, it was donated by the federal park. It's supposed to be a federal park.
Well, but it was actually during the Second World War. It was originally a coastal defence station.
Yeah.
It was disregarded. It was just off a fishing village.
Yeah.
And there was.
Well, actually, it's not a village. It's a hamlet. And the reason why
it's a hamlet.
It's called a hamlet because it's not small enough to be a village. It has no church, and the population from 2010 is 3,326 people.
Yeah, because your town's not a city unless it's got a cathedral, is it? No. As well. So, right. Congress, I feel like it was a move as if to say, yeah, we're closing it down, but we're not really, because, obviously they were backed by another wing of whoever. Yeah, some other investor. They were allowed to keep all of the data, all of the machines, yeah. And like I say, they were set up in a new base, Camp Hero. The site was known as Camp Hero in Montauk Air Force Station because of the Major General Andrew Hero. And he was, like an army commander.
Yeah.
There. He died in 1942. So they named the base after him. So even though the government had disbanded the project, it was still basically funded by the US government. And
say it's a family.
The military and based on a military installation, so I don't get that. Doesn't sound like the actions of a project being closed down, maybe just hidden.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Camp Hero, in fact, has apparently a network of tunnels underneath the base.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they actually built that afterwards, yeah, once they'd moved in. And they used a battalion of French tunnel diggers.
French?
Yeah, apparently. I think they were... Or they might not be French. They might have been based over in France, digging tunnels and trenches. Right, okay. And then brought over. I think that's right. What else? Yeah, so basically, Camp Hero was chosen. I know you turned around and said that they were donated it and given it by a park service.
Yeah, the federal park.
But isn't it a bit of a coincidence that, Camp Hero has a SAGE antenna array?
Well, no, because originally it was used for one thing, but then it was not needed, so... And the properties of it, of what the scientists believe, because when the scientists walked in there, they only had to do a little bit here and there, and that was it.
Well, this is it. The machines that they brought in were unreal. I mean, I watched this urban exploring documentary the other day, and it was like they went in, they snuck into the actual buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
There was one room which was all like kind of like supposed to be all acid, like tests and whatever on the... I don't know if they went in that one though, but that was supposed to... They used to do like psychological tests on people in there.
Yeah.
They had another space underneath. They got into all the... not all little of them, rings. Because a lot of them were concreted up when the project was finished. Yeah. But they found a couple of spaces that looked like experimentation spaces. And I was telling you about those sort of like... They look like conductive plates for putting a subject in, where they'd beam these frequencies down on them. Like I say, I think the idea that they had an array, it's all a bit fishy. I feel like it's kind of like they was there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? They said that, they wanted to use these technologies against enemies, so that's why they wanted to continue, developing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this mind control thing... It's too much, man. It's like the idea that those arrays, right?
Well, it worked.
The satellite dish or the array, the SAGE radar system that was attached to the Camp Hero, right?
Yeah.
Operated on a frequency that was around about 400 to 425 megahertz, right? So, this is exactly the frequency that needs to operate in terms of mind control. Yeah, you can't go up you can't go up past 425, can't go lower than 400, but within that band is what they found out is the perfect frequency for planting ideas, their mind control machine to work on. And it's just funny that they brought this machine in and, hooked it up to the machine, or hooked it up to the SAGE radar, and therefore got an area of God knows how much, where they can influence people's actions.
From what
do you know what I mean?
It affected everyone on the base when they first tested it. there was a bit of radiation, something with the throats, there was radiation, so they turned the spire by, I think it was 180 degrees, and that stopped all the radiation.
Well, it didn't actually, because that's why they had to build the devices underground. I think we were just reading about that, actually, and they were basically saying that they had to, there was a bit of a malfunction with the signal coming off the machine. And then when they were trying to beam these signals down at the, I was going to say victims then, but subjects, there was interference with the above ground stuff. So they ended up having to go deeper underground to kind of have a balance between the signals. It's quite interesting. But I think that frequency, it's really quite an interesting one when you talk about low emitting frequencies like EMFs and stuff. And even today, you know, your phone, radio, TV, all these things emit a frequency.
5G, 4G.
It's just when you start getting into this 400 to 425, which has been proven, but based on this evidence, or based on the findings from this Montauk, that this is what they were kind of aiming for. So, I mean, what's interesting about that is, that those frequencies are brain control machines. That's what they're sending out. They're sending out they're the frequencies it needs to operate. It all just seems a bit too coincidental. That it's like, oh yes, well, we've got some nice little land that we can spot you. It just so happens to have that dish that you need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It seems it's like they didn't close it down and move them there. They moved them there because they needed to be there. That was why they moved them.
They used them on their own soldiers that were there for R&R as well.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, what the fuck? It weren't just people who were taken off the streets. It was actually their own soldiers they first tested it on.
Really?
To see if they'd smile and
always the way, everyone. Though, isn't it? Yeah, like if they can break rank or,
even violence. They even made them kick off.
Really?
Yeah, a number of times.
I think that it's crazy that I think when that's always seems to be the first line of experimentation. It's their own guys. It's the soldiers, because one thing, you've signed up. Right. You've basically signed your own fucking warrant there, because
rule is you got to do it and then you got to complain.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they can put you through whatever it is, but then, obviously, if you're feeling a bit poorly afterwards, then come and see the medic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not the same as And then you get to the point where you've got to start kidnapping people and bring people in who have got no idea, so you can experiment on them. And this seemed to be what started to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been going on as far back as the Phoenix.
I think it possibly was.
Probably was.
Why stop it? Affect it?
No. Well, by the 1970s, the government had totally stopped funding, apparently.
Yeah.
But like I say, I think you could argue this was just a plausible deniability thing.
Started investing. They were the private investors, and they were the ones who made bombs for World War II.
Who did they make the bombs for?
For Hitler.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. That guy again. He's always cropping up.
German connection, and like the 10 billion in the money train that, funny enough, this year they found they found that train that is supposed to be been
any money.
The one that paid
there's no money on it.
Yeah, if there's no gold on there, then it gives a bit more truth to the matter, I suppose.
Well, I suppose I do think that this government denying any sort of funding or involvement with it. It's just sheer bollocks. I mean, I couldn't operate a fucking secret project on a government facility without being affiliated with the government. There's no way I could. How could I rock up, even if I was a respected scientist?
Yeah, but
there's no way on earth.
It's not that. It's the thing of that. The government's involved, but within the contracts, which our government has been fucking up shitloads of times, is the small print, And in the small print, it says that those who are doing Black Ops, even if they spent all the money to design something they get the choice to decide if to give it to the military or not, if it actually works.
The military just usually take it, don't they?
Well, no, they
especially
they
go take
they don't know about
We've
it.
seen the Big Bang Theory. We know what happens.
Well,
Like I say, they totally kind of said we don't have anything to do with them by the 70s. And this was probably something to do with the horrific experiments that were not only being done on people, but all forms of life at this point. There was people, who were being experimented on.
It's actually called Phoenix Project 2.
What?
It was actually changed the name to Phoenix Project 2.
Go on. You've done a bit of You've done a bit of research on the experiments. I've got a bit about there was apparently one that got results where they were hooking people up who claimed to have like psychic abilities and was able to produce matter out of thin air. Now they've done stuck regular people in and tested if the machines. I mean, this could be a totally different machine. You were telling me about the chairs.
Yeah, there's a thing called the chair.
Now, I think suspiciously this could be what this is, about creating matter out of nothing. Yeah. Because these psychics were being plumbed in.
Yeah.
There's
a guy called Duncan Cameron. And basically, he was their best subject. And by 1973... they decided to up the ante, so they made this kind of chair that basically gets
probably
your
sick of
aroma.
Standing up. Gets your aura.
Your
aroma.
Yeah,
you smell.
Yeah, your aura, and basically form it into reality. But then
make me a woman, not make me a woman.
You could make things,
me a woman.
As time went by, he could make things appear, but he was to try and control people.
Yeah, but apparently a lot of the time he'd think of something and then it'd just appear at random times, which actually reminded me of something I was looking into about time travel, because there was this scientist, he was talking about he's built a time machine in theory, that when he turns it on, atoms just appear in the machine, and it's not that he's put an atom in there. It's that the atom has been sent from 2 days in the future when he did put an atom in there, and it's just randomly appeared in a point in time that he doesn't know when he sent it. It's just appeared there, So, but all all of his research and experiments show that this isn't an atom he's put in there. It's a clean environment and it's appeared. So. The only logical explanation is that it's manifested at a random point, which is this kind of reminds me of this, because these guys were put into this machine and asked to think about things. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, a day later, a fucking spotted giraffe turns up. I mean, how were they able... I mean, what happens in terms of getting rid of these manifestations?
Well, you could... Basically, they've been... The machines have been hooked up to IBM computers and stuff like that.
Only the best.
Yeah, I think they called it the IBM 360.
Funny enough, though, that's really actually funny enough, because I'm not sure if that was one of the computers that John Titor had to come and collect from the future, because he was a part of it about talking to machines. It was able to communicate with other machine code. Was that right?
Well, yeah. There was they ended up having a problem with this chair because when they were starting it and when they were turning it off, there was a time glitch.
Yeah, there was a slight delay, wasn't there, in terms of... Yeah, but how would that... Right. So that when you were explaining that to me, it makes me think that, you're sat in this chair. Yeah. You're trying to project something mentally. Yeah. Right? So how would that time thing...
you're creating the aura that, within yourself.
So did
trying to create it as...
so why did they need the second chair? Because they keep saying that they need the second chair to offset something.
To grab hold of the timeline, because the timeline was being messed with.
I actually seen that they were talking about when they'd send them on these experiments to kind of... Because what they'd do is, like I was saying earlier, they'd put you in this machine, and they'd use electromagnetic fields to pin your body down in terms of keep you in there, and then they'd use these frequencies to get into your mind or your soul or whatever, right? And for them, I'm assuming they'd be on some psychedelic trip. Yeah,
I should imagine there'd be drugs involved.
I'm assuming there probably is drugs involved,
LSD,
right? And then they're being asked to kind of explain what they see and all the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. But they always seem to have something that was kind of grounded in reality, so that they could come back. You know, so they could always kind of latch themselves back onto reality and come out of it and not get lost in the
because they're not
fantasy world or wherever they are.
They haven't lost full control. They're just in there, and then they're obviously drugged up to the fucking eyeballs, and then they're asked questions, and it's like, this is doing this is doing that. But then when they
it's like how much of it's just in drug-induced psychosis?
Well, no, because the supposed evidence come from the chair from the start and the ending of the
some fancy chair. This, come on, give us a bit more information about these chairs.
I had to build a second chair, and they put that in Portsmouth. It
was Portsmouth, New England, in New Hampshire, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's where they threw the second chair. Now, there's a belief that there's a third chair in London on the Thames, but I can't find much on that at the moment.
But I mean, what's the chair? Why is this chair important as a chair? I mean, if you've got one subject, he sat in the chair at Montauk, right? What are the other two chairs doing in terms of? Do you need people to sit in them? Do you need, are they just there as? Are they there in certain locations as a temporal sort of anchor?
The second chair,
I don't know.
Took basically the timeline out of it and basically made a porthole. Supposedly.
Yes, because I did read this. But they managed to create a working porthole, right, or a wormhole, that was able
Wagons could go through.
Well, apparently it was it's sustainable. It was permanently open, and it led back to the original Philadelphia experiment back in 1943.
Well, this is where the kidnapping come into.
That's fucking coincidence, isn't it?
Basically, it was supposed to be that the kidnapping of tramps around the cities were brought there, trained for a week, and then put through the porthole, but no one, as far as they know, come back.
Well, this is all kind of rings true with that, like DARPA stuff. Do you know what I mean? And like Andrew and the jump rooms and Andrew Basiago, and you could kind of say, which is another thing, right? Because if you've got a working porthole back to the past, right?
Which is basically Project
Pegasus, right? You've got a working porthole, Stargate or whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. What's stopping you going back to 1943, kidnapping a homeless guy there? And bringing him back to the future
because
to experiment on him.
The timeline out. For all you know, that could be like President Kennedy's.
Oh no, time doesn't work like that anymore. We've discussed this. Time doesn't work. That's not how time travel works.
Well,
the future. If I decided to travel in time tomorrow and go to, I don't know, my grandfather's house, I could easily kill my grandfather. I could even kidnap him and bring him back here.
But then
I would never cease to be. I would not cease to be because that's still my future. Yeah. All I've done there is created another timeline where there is another unfortunate me that doesn't have a granddad. It's not me.
But it depends it depends the way you look at the time and time traveling and line and what's supposed to happen.
This seems to be the most widely accepted
doesn't mean it's right.
No, that's true, but it's like we can go down time travel routes.
Yeah, we're doing.
But they're trying to say that they've created this wormhole that obviously led back to 1943. Sounds like these guys had it all figured out. They had fingers in pies, man.
Well, yeah, well, then the kids thing happened, didn't it? Blonde, blue-eyed boys.
Well, were they kind of...
that reminds me of Hitler again.
It makes me feel like clones, like they're doing genetic cloning
just
experiments.
Normal boys. It's just that they
were very selective about who they brought in. It's like, right, no, I want a blue eye.
It just makes you think the Third Reich have taken control and doing
they were,
all this
because
stuff.
this is the thing.
Effectively, yeah.
Well, think about it this way, right? That's not so far-fetched. They've basically... Right, so the Nazis, they were after a supreme Aryan race, right? Yeah. Their idea of a supreme Aryan race was blue-eyed, blonde-haired, fucking all the rest of it, like Nordics, right? Or like the whites, if the white species of alien, right?
Which are many.
The idea that, you know, they've got all their research, right?
Yeah.
They've been doing... The Nazis were doing research on this for ages, right? And now all of a sudden the Americans have got this research, right?
They nicked it, really.
How do they know that they were coming down this thing and going, we've been getting really bad results on this machine. It's not working like it's supposed to do. And then they see a little footnote that says, works really well with blue-eyed, blonde-haired children.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's possible, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The brown-haired kids doesn't work on.
Well, then
for some reason. Yeah, but we don't know why, but that's the way it is. And then they go, shit, right, well that's why.
The case,
that answers the question why they were after blue-haired,
If that's the case, then Hitler had time machines beforehand, because he started that from the beginning, so he must have known about it. Or he would have changed his idea.
He could have. He might have. You never know.
He was a bit of a fucking...
If all that wasn't amazing enough...
Yeah, we still haven't fucking finished. Oh, no.
Obviously, aliens had to appear.
Yeah.
Well, since a number of Montauk Project victims have spoken up claiming alien greys and reptilians were both involved in their abductions and experimentation, you have to kind of think, were aliens involved? I mean, how did aliens get involved? And how were they connected? I don't understand this bit. I don't understand the alien connection.
The only thing on that I can see is the chair.
I think
that is it.
It could be to bamboozle the abductees.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think there was really any kind of UFO or alien involvement in that, to be honest, from what I found.
This is where you go, because obviously, right, we were just talking about creating a wormhole.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it wasn't up until, you know, the aliens arrived. They gave them some technology, right?
Yeah.
Which was able to allow us, or the Montauk Project, to be able to travel through interdimensional travel space perfectly safely.
Isn't this the second universe? We were supposed to have a second universe,
this is what
and
comes
Star Wars is happening there.
You said this, apparently we're the refugees from a Star Wars universe that found a safe dimension to live in.
But we're still being run by the
Darth
New World
Vader.
Order. You know what I mean?
And the Emperor.
Yeah, apparently. Well, it's the same with when the kids...
Where are your rebel friends now?
They're
on Earth.
When the kids are looking...
Fucked off, mate. Yeah.
Looking for the horse, which we were talking about.
Well, we've got some theories on this, but we'll move into that in a bit.
Okay, right?
Because, I mean, you're talking about the chairs there, the experimentation.
Yeah. Don't know what the third one does.
We don't know what the aliens have got involved with it. Apparently, they did give them some technology, though.
It's just a
Nevertheless, you can assume that some horrific things did and must have happened throughout this whole experimentation and project.
That is one thing that would be a guarantee on that one.
I can 100% guarantee that.
100%
Lots of people have come forward that claim to have been taken off the streets, experimented on during this time, and some have undergone regression therapy and gave horrific accounts of some things that they've witnessed, things that they say that they had to go through. Such as a series of books, The Montauk Project, Experiments in Time by Preston B. Nichols and Peter Moon. The first book in the series dealing with supposed time travel at Montauk.
Yeah.
So originally published 1992, the author Preston Nichols and what's his name, Peter Moon. So I mean, but the thing is with this books, right? They are classed as fiction. Yeah.
Well, he does say you can class this as fiction or fact.
Well, there was a big thing, though, in the 80s about kind of like, you know, gonzo journalism and putting a spin on it and printing the fiction rather than the facts because it's more entertaining.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
The way I get it now is because of when I first got into this, because I never really heard about this until you said, like, we're going to do this week. So, at first, when I'm first checking it out, I'm thinking, hoax. There is even markers there saying that it's a hoax. It could be a hoax, blah, blah, this, that, and the other. But then when you look more into it, like the Nazi train, there's evidence about the Nazi train on this.
Yeah.
But any other company apart from that.
It wasn't just the Nazis. Obviously, the Russians were doing psychical research at this time as well.
And there are actually people who've gone out there who actually lived in the area, who've actually know people who've been involved, who actually dedicated themselves.
It's funny actually because I think
find out what's going on.
We've talked about kind of like experimentation and how psychical research when obviously the Cold War, and there was a lot of problems where basically it was propaganda, and this is how we've painted it in the past, and this is how I've understood it in the past, that it was a propaganda war with Russia because the US basically fed information to Russia saying that they were doing psychic research. And then Russia started doing it because they got scared that they'd be on something that they didn't have.
It's tit for tat.
And it was tit for tat.
Yeah.
And then basically Russia started doing it for real, and then America went, oh shit, we best do it for real as well because Russia are doing it and getting results.
Yeah, it was fresh from both sides.
So it was like nobody could tell who was telling the truth. Yeah. But then you can think, well, Nazi Germany were already doing it way before both of them. Yeah. And then America ended up with all their results. So
and
it's
all
like,
their scientists.
How funny is it that all the achievements... I mean, I'm not knocking your America guys, right? But in terms of, like, you know, we do love you, but in terms of, like, the moon landing...
you just got dodgy people
Nazi scientists... like shit, Russia's got a foothold on us on psychic research, right? Nazi scientists, right? It's like, it is a bit...
Yeah, but the atomic age was one of the... I mean, think about it now. I mean, we're sat in here and we've got a pandemic outside the door. Now, imagine at any minute, and it nearly happened at least I know of 8 times it nearly happened by accident. Imagine one of them bombs going off, the others are going to go off, and it will be such devastation.
Oh, let's not think about that.
Oh,
we've still got to get to New Year yet. Well, nevertheless, obviously,
so you
there was a lot of...
fight that way. You got to fight in that kind of way because you don't know. You don't want to trigger someone else. You don't want to hit them.
You don't
need
triggering.
But like you don't want to hit the buttons on the opposite side, do you?
Well,
because it only takes one threat.
Well, despite the random assortment of evidence, obviously, it is quite random.
Yeah.
The Montauk Project definitely captured the public's imagination, influencing shows like The X-Files stories and Stranger Things. You were saying about kind of the parallel universe, yeah. I mean, obviously in Stranger Things, it's the upside down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, earlier on, it was mentioned that, you know, there was experimentation on all types of life forms, right?
Yeah.
One interesting little tidbit I found was apparently the Jersey Devil, is only been kind of spotted around since this era. Yeah, potentially this could be rather one of the creatures that these guys have conjured up into existence, or an experiment that's kind of been, you know, escaped. It could be a number of things that have gone on. And this is kind of like going back to Stranger Things with, like, obviously this psychic manipulation and experimenting on children. There's a parallel universe where there's kind of like everything's a bit backwards. And obviously monsters, you know. Why is he always monsters? I always find that when monsters are introduced, that's when things start getting a bit less believable. So obviously the US government had already shown to have involvement in projects like MK Ultra.
Yeah.
And this could be another shadowy umbrella type fucking organisation.
New World
Order. It seems to be like that to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like pushing humanity to its limits to try and understand
it. But then we're one of them kind of species that like to test stuff out and like do stuff, but we don't seem to get the grasp of
we just do it without not thinking whether it's a good idea or not.
Yeah. I mean, because all of this reminds me quite a lot.
Yeah, that guy Jersey Devil was probably called Jeff.
Yeah.
Before he was an accountant.
Well,
he had a wife.
If the portal's been opened, then, you know, there might be cracks in the
well, this is the thing. This is how Stranger Things does it, because it's like, you know, these elements from this dimension.
Yeah.
You've broken the tie. You've broken in now.
Something.
Like there's a portal. Yeah. There's some sort of rip.
Leakage.
Now, there was actually something I was reading which just reminded me about when they did the Philadelphia experiment, that they actually kind of did break something in space-time, and then, you know, like they were able to kind of shift through the cracks. Or maybe that brought things in that we didn't need. Don't know. It's quite interesting, though. I mean, in terms of electromagnetic frequencies, can they really do what they're saying that they can do to that extent?
Yeah, there's definite proof now that you can...
mobiles and Wi-Fi and all that jazz?
Yeah, you can... I mean, it's the same... It's like the music. The music now isn't like what it used to be.
The music, they don't make music like it used to be.
That's because they've changed the frequency, that's why.
What, so do you think that basically it's...
445, I think they've put the frequency at now. So it's a lot different and it's a lot more suggestible as well.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think, like, in terms of, like, suggestibility, that's all the buttock shaking. But I'd say, like, you know, in terms of the whole concept, I think it's easy to kind of say, yeah, it's all fiction. But because there's so many fictional kind of works around the concept, it's hard to kind of, like, justify or kind of determine what's fact and what's fiction. And it does... And, I mean, this is the thing. It's like I can do believe that these projects happened, and I do believe that there was experimentation on people. Definitely. I believe that, like, you know, there was, shady shit going on. Yeah. But then you've got all the kind of really supernatural stuff surrounding it. I mean, not that I'm knocking it and saying that it can't be right. Yeah. But it's when people start adding fictional, stories around it. The line between fact and fiction starts to blur a little bit. Yeah. And it does sometimes become a little bit silly. Yeah. Now, that could be 100% true for all I know. You know, and, you know, maybe it is.
I just like the way it connects to other, like, things and the horse and, like...
Well, we had a theory about this, didn't we? Yeah. Because in terms of, like, Illuminati bases or bunkers, another one that has got a horse involved. I mean, was the golden horse on the front cover of the Montauk Project? Was that some sort of statue on Camp Hero?
There was... no, apparently the Montauk boys, which the young lads were called, were sent forward to 1637 AD.
I think Andrew Bichargo might have been involved in this. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that. But why were they trying to find the horse?
Well, that was one of their first things, and then they ended up going to Mars, supposedly.
Yeah, this is Andrew Bichargo. It's the Mars Jump Room program, apparently. Yeah, the legendary city on Mars that he lived at for a couple of...
But the first place they actually supposedly went was 1637 to look for this horse, and then they went back 100,000 years... Now, I didn't get this. I really didn't get this.
Was it a golden one? A golden horse? Because I'm not sure, because like I say, the horse at Denver Airport, and I only make this distinction because this golden horse keeps cropping up, especially on the Montauk Project book by Nichols, and Preston Nichols, as well as at Denver Airport. Yeah. You know, and both have Illuminati connections. They both supposedly have underground bases. Yeah. Is this some sort of keystone or marker that is to suggest that if you see the stallion up on its hind legs, do you know,
then
like
the base is there.
Then there's a base there. It does seem like it's a marker of some description. Maybe out there, maybe not. No. Maybe could be bang on the money. Well, Who knows?
Thing that I thought that was a little bit weird, but then when 100,000 years back to collect. Now get this. I don't understand this. Get this. Go back to collect light and dark energy to bring back to Mars. Oh, I don't get the thing on that.
But you know, this is the thing you see because, and this is another thing because you're separating people's accounts from what actually happened there as well. Yeah. So you've got to remember, as we discussed, a lot of these subjects were probably heavily on drugs at the time.
Oh yeah, so definitely.
What they were going on about, and I mean, to be fair, if I'm not sure if you regressed somebody who was on drugs, if you were having a drug trip, right, and you wake up and you go, oh God, I can't really remember that drug trip, don't know what was going on. Yeah. If I regressed you, would you be able to tell me? Would you be able to encounter what happened in that psychotropic?
Depends on the drug.
Psychotropic state, or would you be accounting things that were actually happening? Like I was sat there high.
Well, do you know what I mean? On the drug. Well, yeah. Well,
I think that you probably unlock that memory of your psychotropic trip, and you'd probably start recounting it as if it was genuine and happened to you. And because you've gone through regression, you're probably more likely to fucking believe it more now. Yeah. So again, it's like even though the supposedly first-hand accounts, it's these 3 stories here, isn't there? Really? Yeah, you've got the story of what actually happened at Montauk, right? Which, like I say, personal opinion, there probably was a lot of shady shit.
Still secure today, though.
There's the victims' accounts of what happened, which are probably all different, and you know, like, and it's one of those things where it's like, if you were a victim in this and you started reading up on other people's accounts, how much of that would absorb into your story? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that happened to me. Yeah, they did that to me too. Do you know, like, so again, there's the account story, and then there's the fiction story, right? So it's, again, where earlier we had 2 lines and we had one line to kind of a blurry line. Now we've got 2 blurry lines, so it's a very difficult one to peg.
That's true.
Tell us what you think. If you've got any theories on the Montauk Project, then we'd love to hear from you. I think it's really interesting and totally a lot to unpack.
I think CERN is doing what Montauk was doing.
You said that, and I totally could agree with that. Because
and they've got a horse in front of the building.
They have as well.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Connections.
No, they haven't actually. Have they got a horse? Or because I know they've got one of those like sort of like statues. Because I'm pretty sure
it could be a beast.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to Google that. But if they do have a horse, Google it for me. Because if they do have a horse outside CERN, that is a definite something. Let me know. Yeah, there you go. Montauk Project. If you've got anything to add, just let us know in the comments, or you can send us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Or hit us up on Twitter at NASA_never. We're always available. But yeah, I think it's a great project. Well, go on. Is he a horse outside it?
It's not a horse.
I knew
it's worse.
It's the
Doomsday god.
Yeah, it's the goddess of thingy, isn't it? What's she called?
I can't remember.
Niger or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew there was some sort of, like, Buddhist sort of statue outside. Or when you said it was a horse, I thought there was definitely something else. I've actually seen a video of them doing some sort of ritual.
Yes.
And someone filmed them doing it, and they all came out in hoods and shit.
Yeah, dodgy shit.
It was pretty dodgy. God knows what was going on.
Shit like that.
But yeah, we'll try and fish out the video and post it. But other than that, we'll be moving on into the NASA news. It's the news! Oh, yeah. And as always, we've scoured the internet, looked everywhere for a couple of minutes, well, about 25 minutes, to find you the craziest news from Earth, space, and beyond.
The final frontier.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of little talking points before I want to move on. And one of them links to a story that I've got. Obviously, the Nobel Peace Prize.
My man's getting it. Yeah.
Is he, though?
Is he? Is he not?
No. Right. Well, basically, I'm not sure. I've got the story up here, but basically, there were talks last week about Mr. Trump, Pres Trump, Donald, getting the Nobel Peace Prize. I did read this earlier, but I've got the story here anyway about obviously people.
What? I bet they're giving him more awards, aren't they?
What?
Are they giving him more awards?
Oh, probably. Have you got any news? Let me just find my news while you're...
I have.
Go on.
Well, it's looking bad for Australia.
Oh, right. Why? What's happening in Australia?
Well, apparently, they reckon by Christmas, they'll run out of rice.
What?
Run out of rice.
Yeah.
They've been shutting down the beef places because of COVID. And apparently they've been ringing Vietnam to see to make sure that their stocks will be put up a bit more.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, okay.
Well,
yeah, apparently running out by Christmas.
Well, so
they've had some shit laid on.
They have had some shit recently, haven't they, Australia? I really do feel for them. I mean, obviously, they're all good, really lovely people as well, do you know what I mean? It's like, they don't need any of that.
No.
Got no time for that.
No. Definitely not.
What's it? Sorry about that. What's it? Just trying to find this Nobel Peace Prize. So, what is the LG Nobel Peace Prize and who's won it this year?
Go on, Trump.
Well, lucky winners was Donald Trump.
Received
a paper cube.
A paper cube?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But basically, winners. The winning studies included a knife made by a human face. What's that?
What?
A knife made from humans' faces a theory about narcissist eyebrows. The LG prize. I'm not sure this is actually the legitimate, thingy prize. This is the LG prize.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know if it's like the actual prize.
Booby prize.
Yeah, it might be a subsidiary prize of a Nobel Prize, but it's called the LG prize. Also known for, it's a research prize. Honours investment that makes people's lives easier and obviously...
Yeah.
And whatever. So lucky winners including Vladimir Putin
wow, what the fuck
and Donald Trump.
Yeah, the Trump star. Yeah.
Received a paper cup and $10 trillion bills from Zimbabwe. So I don't know how much that actually includes. So it's not the Nobel Prize. So basically it's the LG Nobel Prize.
Which is fucking useless.
So basically it's the prize celebrates 10 weird achievements in scientific research. So do you know when the other day when everyone was going on about it being nominated for a Nobel Prize?
Yeah.
Was that what they were talking about?
Oh, I hope not.
He's a Nobel.
Oh.
Never mind.
Boom.
Well, anyway, he's won it. So's Vladimir Putin. Crazy combo.
Well, yeah. Then.
One for fixing results, one for actually getting away with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
So, anything else you want to talk about?
I was surprised. I was looking into something that they found out, I believe, this year about the Ascension Islands, about the growth of...
Ascension!
When Darwin was there, it was like fucking nothing because it's an old English outpost. But they started planting a few trees, I think about 5,000 trees.
Yeah.
But it's still not enough, realistically, to, make it bloom.
Yeah.
And they reckon that it was like millions of years to get a massive, decent forest going. Now they've changed their mind because they went back. Fucking forest.
Is it just boom?
Yeah.
And what they're putting it down to, global warming?
No, just like nature. Nature, instead of it taking millions of years, it's taking 150 years. So
that's fair enough then.
Right down.
Well, it's funny actually because me and my brother, we were driving past a park that we grew up near a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, is it houses?
Well, no, it was like when we were kids. Yeah. We remember them planting a whole row of saplings. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, they'll be like take years to grow.
Yeah,
yeah. And we drove past and it's like fully established woods. And I was like, well, it has been 20 years.
No, you do remember when you was at school and you got told it would take a long time for this to grow from small thing to...
Well, 20 years is a long time if you think about it, but not generally really a long time, is it?
I'm pissed off about that because now I'm thinking, you fucking lied to me.
Well, this is the thing when you turn around and say this tree is over 150 years old. It's like, that's not really a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not really that long.
Yeah. Fuck it, throw more trees. We can, that sort of carbon dioxide.
What is a long time? Is 120,000 years.
Whoa, yeah,
that is a long time. We do happen to agree. Yeah. And this is how long this footprint that was found in Saudi Arabia as they've determined that it's that old. So they found this human footprint in Saudi Arabia. I think this is amazing when they find stuff like this.
Yeah, there's been a lot of finds.
They reckon it's the footprints of humans, elephants, and other animals were found on an ancient dry lake in Saudi Arabia.
So he had buddies then.
Oh yeah, it was a menagerie.
Yeah.
Hey, we got what is it? I start thinking Prince Ali, where is he? Do you know the Aladdin song? And he's like, he's got a zoo, I'm telling you, he's got a world-class menagerie.
You're on there.
There
no idea, mate.
Well, there was a set of 7 human footprints found around the area on the dry lake in the northern region of Tubuk. The earliest evidence of humans in the area. So, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Seems we were only supposed to be around for 65,000 years.
Well, there's 120. There's an extra chunk, double that, and add a few. Experts believe they are the footprints of at least 2 people, and they say they could help understand the routes taken by humans out of Africa.
Yeah, that's fair. So, there's actually a suggestion that we come from somewhere else before Africa.
Fucking hell, where was there?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in the Middle East. I think, yeah, it was somewhere in the Middle East, I think it was.
Mate,
yeah, they're still quite... Well, look, they got that fucking wrong, like, you know, for a long time. You know, it's just going to take time. Don't believe everything you hear, because, like, it'll be changed next week. And it works out about, 70-odd% of the information that you received 7 years ago would be actually changed now.
Why?
Because updates of people finding stuff, people changing things around.
Fair enough. Yeah. Talking about changing stuff, right? What would you say was the biggest plastic producer in the world? Making plastic items. Well, there's one company that I didn't even entertain as one of these companies, but obviously, thinking about it, they make plastic.
What is it, like a supermarket that owns this company or something?
Lego?
No.
Think about it, mate. We're talking about getting rid of plastic, right? Yeah. And Lego is one of the biggest plastic producing. They're creating small, tiny pieces of plastic that get lost, they fall down, they get fucking everywhere, yeah? Right?
Oh, you're going to tell me to get rid of Lego now?
Well, they're not going to get rid of it, but they're spending £310 million to transform its bricks. Yeah.
Also, they're biodegradable.
Probably, yeah. Well, obviously, they want to make it... Firstly, they want to make them out of sustainable materials.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, something that, like you say, is going to be biodegradable. It's not going to get into the environment.
No.
I mean, Lego, they're a sick company, mate. Everybody loves a bit of Lego. Yeah, you can't even beat it. So, the fact that Lego have actually thought about this...
Yeah.
And honestly, never crossed my mind. Right, never ever once. Because
to
Lego,
be honest,
you don't see it as something you want to throw away. No. Right, but the fact of the matter is, I'm sure
you lose pieces.
Millions of Lego pieces wash up on beaches.
Yeah,
right. I'm convinced. Yeah. Now, the fact that they've gone out the way to kind of address this situation is really, really commendable. Obviously, I don't know if they've been told or been had. Any sort of sanctions or anything like that. But I think the idea that they're making that move to transform the bricks is a step forward. So well done. Yeah. And obviously nobody wants to lose Lego, but we don't want to lose the quality.
No.
Obviously, if you're going to bring out a new brick that's made from a different material, then it's got to be compatible with the old brick as well as not brittle and break on you.
Yeah.
So it's still got to be as strong and durable as Lego is today. So.
Yeah, it's a pity. Let's just see how many more companies will follow this kind of trend.
I think a lot do. I think a lot of more products coming out at the moment. If I was planning on making a product now, I wouldn't think cheap, efficient. Let's go to a plastic plant or whatever. Out of the box, I'd be thinking about sustainability and what I can make it out of that was going to obviously set apart me from all the others, but be friendly towards the planet. So I think a lot of more people are factoring that in nowadays. Bamboo's a big one. I actually saw a really interesting
seaweed is as well.
I've got a story, but I can't remember where if I've got it. Basically, it was a woman was really confused when they went to Dunelm shop. Okay. Basically, it's like a fabric shop, sells curtains and bedding and stuff like that.
All right.
And they bought a chopping board, right, out of bamboo, saying sustainable chopping board, wipe clean, blah, blah, blah. It had a sticker on the back saying, do not use as a chopping board.
What?
I know. Yeah, so it's crazy, isn't it? It's
but then, it's a...
It's not, you're not allowed to use it for its intended purpose.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be art, isn't it, basically?
No, it's a fucking chopping board. It's a wooden chopping board.
No, it's not a chopping board because it's got a label on the back that says you can't chop it.
Yeah, no, but that's why would you buy it?
It's there for art.
Well, it's there as a what?
Throw it on the fucking wall or,
Bollocks.
Put it on the side. Well, you know what? You know what some people are like when they're in the kitchen? They love the kitchen.
Some people are just dodgy.
Yeah.
Have you got any other stories? I've got a few.
Go on then.
Oh, have you not got any more?
Yeah, I've got...
well, here's one for... More. Go. I'll do this one first because this one's brilliant. Yeah, right. Asylum seekers, right? Obviously, these people, migrants, trying to land on beaches, trying to get away from wherever they're trying to get away from. Imagine their surprise... when a boat full of migrants landed on a nudist beach. Yeah.
Then,
They didn't have to, it's like, sorry guys, you're going to have to take off your clothes. Have you got any sunscreen?
Yeah, you can't walk across here with clothes on. You got to take them off and walk.
Yeah, so a boat full of asylum seekers basically landed ashore at a nudist beach. One of the naked sunbathers swam out to the boat, with a little inflatable boat, and I just asked if they were okay, and they were like, "Get away from me, you're naked." And they were like,
no.
Nah, they didn't. They basically got the dinghy and the migrants ashore.
See, I don't even know if that's right.
That was in the UK. So around about 80 nudists were on
the UK.
Yeah, there's nudist beaches in the UK.
Oh yeah, no that.
Glen Beach, Hastings in East Sussex.
What happened to them then?
Well, nothing. Well,
I don't know if I agree or disagree about this. No.
Well, the fact that they landed on the beach, and probably look. At the end of the day, it's in the paper. They've probably been dealt with in that sort of sense, in terms of processed, and it's fucking horrible to say it like that, but what? That's the case. It's one of them, isn't it?
Fucked up situation.
It is a fucked up situation. I think you got to see the comedy in it. And obviously they've landed on the shore to this fucking site of about 80 nude Brits. So it's like, what the fuck?
Naked.
Close your eyes, kids.
Yeah.
So there was about what was it? There was some aged from about 17 to 45. So obviously they kept the kids' heads down. But 17.
I bet the 17-year-olds were going, no, don't put my head down.
I've seen it all before. I don't want to look at his todger anyway. It's like, you've seen some of the people that go on nudist beaches.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, if you could go and give us some more stories.
Yeah. Right. Well, talking about lockdowns.
And not another one, please.
Yeah, first country to have a second lockdown is Israel.
Oh, yeah, I actually saw this. I mean, there's a lot of countries that are threatening it at the moment. Yeah. It's like, it's not just us. It seems to be a global shit.
Yeah,
Shitstorm.
Well, since the shutdown, we've only had, 13% working in London and 25,000 businesses go under.
Really?
Yeah.
25?
25,000 businesses have gone under since.
Fucking hell, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not fucking good, is it, man?
Well, like
it's looking like we're going to have another lockdown.
Well, this is me, isn't it? I mean, I worry.
Oh, yeah.
I worry that. I mean, if I don't normally go into my stuff, but anyone who knows me knows that I work in events, and it's like basically lockdown. Everyone's going on about a second lockdown. I'm still in the first. What are you talking about? Can't wait to get back to work.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like, it is a difficult time, and you've got to kind of take it as it comes. I just think the government need to be a bit more decisive in their actions and basically turn around and say, when we make a decision, we enforce that decision instantly, because there's no point waiting around. I don't understand curfews at 10 o'clock. Does the virus go home at 10?
Well,
do you know?
That's been countries.
I don't understand. I mean, it's bizarre, some of the processes that are being taken, and I know a lot of people don't understand. So it's one of them, isn't it? But
I was
kind of assume that they know what they're doing.
But the thing is, it's coming to be a question: we lock down, then we let loose out a little bit, but everyone's sort of gone back to the norm.
Well, no, it's mental health that people need to worry about. It's people's fucking the social skills. It's kids' social skills. It's like, they're not. Fair enough. Say if this goes on for a couple of years, there's a generation of kids who are growing up who, fair enough, they're allowed to go back to school now. But I've said this, I think it's a bit of a coincidence that it's all sparked off just after the kids have gone back to school. It never went anywhere. What made people think that it was a good idea to open up before it was fully squashed? Don't ask me.
Well, another question come up that... is it time now that we consider going back to normal and having 20,000 people a year die of COVID, and like the same as the flu?
Because this is the thing, you see. Because
this is the thing.
No. Because Matt Hancock, this is for UK people, right? Yeah. Our health secretary, was on the news. They turned around to him and said, obviously, the WHO or the what who do we have? We have the World Health Organization, but we also have our own scientists, guys. I can't remember what they're called. they've told them something. Yeah, right. Yeah. They've gone to them and said,
Health Trust,
we need to talk to you because we've projected. They've given some figures based on how they see the coming months, right? So October, November, December. Yeah, and they've given a projection of life lost, right? And how much life potentially could be lost during this next period, right? And the government have shit themselves, right? They've turned around and gone, shit, we best do something about this. Because, and they're not saying, you can see it in the faces, but they're not saying, yeah. And they've been given some fucking news that has shook them. Yeah, that's how it seems to me. For them to kind of go like so quickly into this, right, no, we're going to have to do all these extra procedures.
Well, I think the north of England, a couple of weeks ago, it was only 10 deaths a day.
Yeah, well, I can tell you for now, hospitals are doubling now. And I reckon if any NHS staff are listening, they'd agree. I reckon over the last couple of days, there's been more in people coming in. And it won't be before long till it's a Nightingale hospitals all over again, sort of thing. So,
well, yeah, they never shut them down, really. They just kept
him on standby, haven't they? Yeah. So, it's a lot going on. Corona, didn't really like it. Don't really want to talk about it. But I'll talk about this guy, world's dullest man.
Huh?
Yeah. Basically, he's an international roundabout enthusiast. Kevin Beresford has spent the last 17 years as a Redditch resident and roundabout spotter.
Roundabout spotter?
Yeah, he's travelled all over the country looking for junctions, perfect junctions. And he's basically formed a roundabout society. In a roundabout way.
Yeah.
And unveils their number one for 2020.
What the hell?
If you were so interested to know about Britain's best roundabout, I think the fact that he's a dull man is more, that he loves
tarmac.
Doesn't matter, man. The guy's got an interest.
That's true.
Yeah, at least do you know what?
That might be important one day when they want to know some sort of information. He might go, I know that.
He's calling him the Britain's dullest man, yeah, but, they're basically calling him British unfair, yeah. So he's unveiled the International Roundabout of the Year, right? After heated discussions in pubs.
Yeah.
Kevin.
He's
famous for travelling around, checking out roundabouts.
Yeah.
And he's got the goods, man.
He's got goods.
Well, I'm interested to see what the roundabout of the year looks like.
I'll give it a guess. I think it's round, and it might have.
I reckon it's. Well, you never know. It could be. Oh God, my machine's going potty. I'm trying to find the photo, but you know what I mean. This guy's got skill, man. He's going out trying to find roundabouts. He's obviously got an eye for it. Here we go. Right, yeah. Now that is pretty fancy.
That is a nice roundabout.
Hang on. Yeah, I mean they've put some thought into that. Why is my computer absolutely going freaky? Oh, I don't like that. Yeah, I think it's this webpage. Get off that. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I mean,
nice.
You might call him dull, but the way I see it is, there's nothing wrong with having a healthy obsession. I'd say as a photographer.
Healthy obsession, yes.
I'd say as a photographer, he's gone out there, he's created a calendar, he's got a society, he's got a healthy obsession with roundabouts, right?
Yeah.
If that makes him boring, then what does that make, the Beshers who went out and photographed water towers, who became internationally famous. At the end of the day, if you've got an obsession and you're a photographer, that's a healthy thing. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I would definitely not call you the boring man.
No, I think that's UK's a bit
boring
unfair,
man.
that.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about before we move into the NASA news?
Just NASA.
Just NASA news.
Yeah.
Let me see if I've got any more stories. I've got, actually this one, Alaskan dentist.
Oh, aye,
yeah. Oh, fucking hell, mate, you won't want this dentist.
Why?
Well, I mean, at first, when I read the story, it was like, I'm not sure if that's kind of, like, really bad, but actually thinking about it is because if he slipped or anything. Well, an Alaskan dentist, he's been basically, he extracted a patient's tooth while on a hoverboard.
What the?
One of those stupid wheelie board things.
What
yeah.
the fuck?
He's been sentenced to 12 years in jail.
Yeah, no.
Now, you might think that's excessive, but as somebody who's not a fan of the dentist, I can say, if he slipped,
boom.
you'd be fucked.
12-year-old patient.
I'm not being funny, but like, oh my days, this computer's going potty tonight. I've got a poltergeist.
Yeah, I think you have.
Well, the former dentist, he was filmed extracting a patient's tooth while standing on his hoverboard, has been sentenced to 12 years in jail. According to the statement from Alaskan Department of Law, Seth Lockhart, 35, was convicted on 46 felony and misdemeanor charges in January, including medical assistant fraud, a fraud scheme to a scheme to defraud, illegal practice of dentistry, a reckless engagement. So yeah, he's been done for a fair few bits and pieces. So I don't even think he was a legit dentist. The Supreme Court judge basically sentenced Lockhart on Monday to serve 20 years in jail with 8 years suspended. So yeah, he's not done too fucking well out of that one, has he? Fucking
been a dodgy fucker.
Seriously, wouldn't be going to him as a dentist.
No.
So yeah,
fuck getting under putting to sleep under him.
Well, that's what I was saying when I went to that dentist, and he turned around and says, "I'm going to have to knock you out now," and I went, "You fucking not!" And I was out of there.
Yeah, he zipped his trousers when you were waking up.
Yeah. Other than that, we've had mums who left the kids on trains.
Oh wow.
We've had a restaurant. Oh, this was horrible. This actually. A wedding RSVP. Right. Yeah. So they've basically put on their RSVP to the guests, if you pay us, if you give us a money gift, you'll get better food at the wedding.
What the fuck?
How cheeky is that? So, yeah, Bridezilla recently hit the headlines after a copy of the text she sent out to the wedding guests was shared online. In the message, she berated the guests for a choice of wedding gifts.
What?
Like a hamper full of sweet treats and stuff like that. Basically, instead of food for the bride had basically hoped to receive money for the wedding.
Bullshit, man.
And she said, what's it? She was just being a bit of a dick about it.
Well, so like those who paid got like a swanky good dinner, and those who didn't get McDonald's.
Yeah, they got like a buffet or whatever.
Bullshit. Yeah. You know what? I'd pick that up and throw it right in the fucking face.
It's horrible, some people, aren't they? I mean, I know it's your big day and all that, but you don't need to be a knob about it.
That one. Wow,
yeah.
Mate.
Well, moving into NASA news, there's been quite an eventful week this week for NASA. Venus.
Yes.
Crazy goings on up there. They turned around and said this week that they found life potentially on Venus. Microbial life, but
in the clouds.
Yeah, but it's the it's only microbes that could survive if there was water present. So doesn't that suggest that there was some sort of life could be on the surface? We've never been to Venus. There's not much said about Venus, and it's funny that everyone's, nobody ever focuses on it, but it's got more of an atmosphere than most of the planets around us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Wouldn't you think that out of all the planets around us, it's sort of in the Goldilocks zone?
No.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not, but it's closer than most.
Its clouds are sort of like ours. The atmosphere is a lot better on the cloud part of it. But what they don't actually know is, basically, they found one gas particle that suggests that life could thrive there, but we had the same. It's a certain particle, but they believe that with more tests, they believe that they will actually find something in the clouds. But then, what do we do about it?
Well,
you know what I mean? Because there is no plans to send in anything to.
Well, you want to? Would you want to bet? Because Moscow, says
I was going to say Russians generally deal with that.
Moscow have basically said if there's life on Venus, it may as well want to learn Russian. As a boss of the Russian's government space agencies claim that it's a Russian planet. Bold territory claim.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Very bold, but
it's true actually. Because do you think? We'll think about it. It's like, perfect situation really, isn't it? But then it's going to be a case of like the Russians go to Venus, we go to Mars, or the West goes to Mars, and then it's like, planet. We've just created our own international Star Wars because it's
with
like
Earth in the middle.
With Earth in the middle, yeah. And unfortunately, who's going to get fucking blown up?
Well, China will probably take over the moon.
Nah.
Well, probably will.
Yeah, well,
they're already there now.
Well, they've probably, maybe.
I mean, they're already.
Well,
in
that's
the
the
base
problem. The thing
there.
is, if the moon, we've discussed this about the moon. It's like whoever controls the moon controls. It's the gateway to space because it's got amenities up there that you can use for refueling. You can it's hydrogen.
Yeah.
So you can use that hydrogen to refuel. You get to the moon. You refuel and then you've got a next shot off to the next place. Do you know what I mean? So without the moon, you're probably not going very many places, to be honest. I think the moon's quite, going to be one of those Alaskan sort of, not Alaskan, Antarctica treaties where we're all like, look, guys, the moon's off limits. But it does seem to be like whoever gets there first and gets an established base on the moon is going to be the sort of like gateways to the rest of the universe.
Whoa,
so deep.
Yeah.
So deep.
But then we should share it individually.
Well, obviously, I mean, in terms of claiming, I'm going to start. What planet should I claim?
What planet do you want?
Jupiter. Jupiter's now mine.
You want Jupiter?
Yeah, I claim it in the name of the Never a Straight Answer podcast.
You know what I claim?
What?
I've
just claimed Jupiter. What do you want?
I
can have half of it.
I'm taking the sun then.
The sun's hot, mate. You can't go there.
That's right. Yeah, I'll move it.
Well,
I'll put it in a colder area.
Well, basically, what they're saying is he noted in his statement saying that the Soviet Union was the first and only one to ever have landed a spacecraft on Venus.
Yeah, true.
So it's theirs.
Yeah.
And no one else's.
Effectively.
It's mine and no one else's.
Yeah, but NASA or private project, even Israel, I think, will probably attempt to go there, to be honest.
Think?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because, NASA's definitely going to send something there now to they've already said
now they've said
check out the
now
clouds.
They've said it's Russian. They're like, no, we're going tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
we heard
all
about
ours.
What we'll land one tomorrow and we'll stay there. Watch what we do.
You can have the next galaxy across.
Also, did you know there was a webcam on Mars you can watch live? It's available on YouTube. I was watching it a bit the other day, and it was just could be anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, it's in Nevada
could be
desert.
Rotterdam or anywhere.
Texas.
Liverpool or Rome.
Yeah, have you seen any aliens yet?
I've not, but I've been looking out for anomalies when I was watching it, and I didn't see anything.
Doing it 24/7.
Well,
there's a few people.
Talking about live streams, though, there was the SpaceX launch. I posted it on Twitter. I don't know if anyone saw it yesterday, but they were sending out more Falcon 9 rockets.
Good.
I think it's more to do with like their internet payloads.
Yeah.
Trying to get. But I'm not sure actually if it was going to Mars, because if it was going to be more cargo, because we were talking about having an internet on Mars. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bandwidth. Space internet. Being able to be able to get internet signals to Mars, I suppose, the moon.
We've got to try something.
Well, of course, it's like you need that information, and obviously it's crazy that we've kind of gathered all our information and our world histories and all, and there's talk of like the libraries of Alexandria and stuff like that, where all our history was put in a vault or whatever. I think it's a bad idea. I think
you think it's a bad idea?
Keeping our Earth's history on Earth, great plan. Yeah, right. Broadcasting it to the universe.
Yeah, I totally.
Not a good plan. At the end of the day, you're giving everyone your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities.
You're telling them exactly what they need to know. They won't even need to send anything.
Exactly. They just go, stay away from them guys. They all seem like whiny bitches.
And it gives them more chance of an attack on the planet, to be honest.
Well, I mean, they know the vulnerabilities. They know what you're about. I mean, they know you before you know them, and that's the scary prospect.
And don't forget, it'd be new aliens, not the aliens we've got now. It'd be new ones that will be going. Hey,
new ones rather than the ones we've got now.
Yeah, the ones we've got now are not too bad.
Well, not only did they find it on Venus, they found fresh ice on
Europa,
Enceladus.
Oh.
Yeah, so alien life experts at US Space Agency NASA have found possible presence of fresh ice on the surface of Saturn.
Well, I'll give you even some more information that they did a study on...
It's getting about, isn't it? They did say that there was no ice anywhere, and now it's fucking everywhere. Go on, what have they done a study on?
There's been a new study on how the chances of life being on other planets. And the change is switched so much, it's unfucking believable.
Yeah, I mean, like, who really knows? They don't know, do they? I think it's like to the point where the odds have gone up to the point where it's like it's an almost certainty.
They didn't trust us in the fucking first place. That's what it is.
I know, we did say, didn't we?
We've been telling them for fucking ages. Not listening.
Some of you do. You guys do. Because we love you for that.
Yeah.
Just thinking. So ice on. So we've got life on Venus.
We have.
Water on Saturn.
Oh, yeah.
Elephants on Mars.
Yeah, big ones. Big fat ones.
What's going on? Our universe is kicking. They didn't realise, but obviously. Talking about Jupiter.
Oh, yeah.
There's been some incredible colour changes in the storm of Jupiter.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can see it. The big colour. That storm's been raging for time, really, hasn't it?
300 years. And it actually nearly went out not a couple of years ago. It went really small.
Do you know how far away it is, Jupiter, from us?
Jupiter, fucking far.
406 million miles.
Boy, that's a bit of a distance.
And these photos were taken with a telescope on 25th of August. Basically, it just does look beautiful, but I mean, there's been some definite changes in the colours.
Yeah,
so there is some mad activity going on, isn't there?
Yeah, but there has been for quite a bit. This is the thing, like scientists said, like about 5 years ago, that like for some reason our solar system's warming up. Yet our sun is it's gone into its cold effect, not throwing much out there. And there's the tilts, the 6-degree tilts, even the sun. How the fuck? There's like all sorts of kind of, and don't forget, we're going through space. We're going through different things all the time. We're not in the same sector of space all the time. We're going like, I don't know, I think it was like 27,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So we're like a bullet going through. It does
feel weird, though. It feels like they're definitely picking up the pace on the whole space thing
which
now.
I'm glad. And I think it needs to come a time pretty soon where the people get, a little bit of a taster of it. Like something like kind of little drones going out there and, maybe bump into something, maybe not.
Well, this is it. Well, at the moment, they're doing testing on all the automated things because there's a lot of new technology that's gone into it.
Yeah.
NASA at the moment, they've just run a test on their automated landing system, which is designed for the Moon and Mars on upcoming missions.
Yeah.
So, there's lots going on. I mean, obviously, we'll keep you posted to anything going on. But that's, I think, about it for NASA news this week.
It is.
Thinking, is there anything else I've not covered? Not covered. Oh, yeah. I was going to talk a bit about David Blaine earlier. I think, what the fuck's that guy up to now? He's not really doing much, is he? Last time I seen him, he was doing, like, actual magic stuff, but now he just floats around on balloons.
I know, he's a right balloon, isn't he?
Isn't he? What a balloon. Yeah. Featured podcast this week, if you want to check it out. Absolute belter of a true crime podcast. Malice join host Ariel as she dives into the psychology, sociology, and environment of kind of these violent offenders. Got a promo here, and you can check it out right now.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Ariel Cooksey, host of Malice. When violent acts occur, we tend to think the predators are monsters. Surely no human could do such things. But if we're honest, only humans commit malicious crime. And if you're like me, you want to know why. To find out, join me at Malice wherever you listen to podcasts. Bye.
There you go. Thanks, Ariel.
Great,
and you can find the Malice podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can check her out. Really cool stuff, actually. I think she's just hit over 100,000 downloads, so that's really cool achievement. Well done.
That is good.
You can find her on wherever you get your podcasts. And check her out. You can actually go to the website at neverastraightanswer.co.uk, and there's a link there to her page there and a bit of information and one of her recent episodes as well. So, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, well, going back to our riddle.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, can't.
You've totally forgot what it is, don't you?
Something wet and it goes in holes.
What? Right, let me start. Let me do this.
It's something earth-based, isn't it? Is it?
So, I asked you earlier.
Yes, Chris.
What is full of holes but retains water, that keeps the water?
Can I ask a friend?
You can ask a friend. Do you want to ask me?
Jay, what contains water? What is it?
What holds water but is full of holes?
He's going to say condom, innit? Oh no, you lost me on that.
Have I lost you? Do you want me to tell you the answer?
Go for it.
Are you
I'm
sure?
fucking shit at these.
Fucking hell! I just don't
ask
think.
me for a pub quiz.
I just don't think you give it enough thingy, or you
don't
just give
really.
up, or maybe it's because there's such too much of a gap between the actual asking you the question. Right?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Have a think. I'm going to ask you one more time. What can hold water but is full of holes? I'm sure you know this.
Sock.
A sponge.
Oh, you bastard! Yeah.
You see,
yeah. So
up here
simple.
for thinking, down there for dancing. It's a simple riddle. I wanted to tell you, there's people at home.
Yeah, I bet you're beating the radio or phone or whatever you're using at the minute. I'm sorry, but
it's all right. You can get me next week, and then so this is it. We're starting on a fresh page. Taylor, 0.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've lost the first round.
Shout outs. Got to give some Patreon peeps some absolute shout outs this week.
Special one as well today.
Oh, is it? Why?
Yeah. Codders.
Oh, yeah, we've got to give Codders a shout out,
Yeah.
but we will give Codders a shout in the honourable mentions because he is an honourable guy.
Yeah.
But Patreons, big shout out to Jay.
Yes, Jay. Woo,
currently snoozing like a baby. Big shout out to Dunk Dunk.
Yeah, Dunk Dunk. Yeah, man.
And a big shout out to Swoosh.
Swoosh, yeah, man. Yes.
Yeah, and in terms of honourable mentions this week, we give a big shout out to Codders, our old work colleague and good buddy.
Yeah,
he was in a bit of an accident this week, and he was, put in a bad way and ended up in the hospital. So we just hope you get better. And obviously, we're thinking about you, and hope you get better, dude.
Yeah, man.
Also, big shout out to Harriet.
Yes.
Thanks. I still love your knitted stuff, mate, and taking them on adventures. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Gareth.
Yeah, Gareth, keep trucking,
absolute
boy.
star.
Yeah, man.
Big shout out to Jessie G.
Yes.
Big shout out to Caroline, Audio Girl, Lady DJ. Big shout out to Bob.
Bob. Hello, Bob.
Bob. We'll see you in the week, Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Big popper, Mr. Crabtree.
Yes, keep wrestling.
Absolute legend. Talking about wrestling, we had Sergeant Slaughter followed us on Twitter the other day. The Sergeant Slaughter was quite impressed. Big shout out to Jimmy Evans.
Yes,
you're a legend.
Jimmy.
Shawnee and Chris.
Yes.
Thanks for all the support.
Yeah, keep it coming.
Big shout out to Louise Hammond. Big shout out to Chantel. W, thanks for your support. Big shout out to Mikey's Collectibles. Can't wait to see you next time.
Yeah, man.
Also, a shout out to Liz Reader.
Yes.
She started her own podcast.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, get over and subscribe. Yeah. It's called Tales from the Haunted Farm.
Go and check it out.
It's cool. She lives on a haunted farm, and then she'll be doing a podcast about it. I'm sure we'll put her in as one of our featured at some point. Big shout out to Roger.
Yes, Roger.
Susie. Big Red Jake.
Yes, Jakey.
And everybody else. Big shout out to everyone at HelloFresh.
Yes.
And that's it. That's the end of the show.
It is.
Oh, it's been a long night. We've done so much. We've got some really good shows coming for you next week. I honestly, hand on heart, know you're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
so, get in touch. We have, if you've got any questions or comments, suggestions, you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Hit us up at Twitter at NASA_never. And we're using Instagram quite a lot more at the moment. So you can find us at Never Straight Answer on Instagram. if you like what we do and you want to help us keep the lights on and support us, you can get over to Patreon at patreon.com/never straight answer. It's at patreon.com/never a straight answer. We're available on all podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcasts, from iTunes, Spotify, all the usual places. All the ones that just come out and you go, what's that? Oh, is that a podcast player? Oh, yeah, I love that. Well, we're on there as well.
Come out, hasn't they?
Probably. They come out every day.
Well, yeah, that's true.
There's one that came out the other day. It says, if you're looking for a podcast player that focuses on the adverts, we've got adverts. And I was just like, that's totally not what people want to listen to podcasts for. The adverts are just the adverts.
Oh, I forgot about that. TikTok from Sunday is not allowed no more in America.
Is it not?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, from Sunday, it's no one's allowed to download it.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
What about people who've already got it?
I don't know about that. I think they have a set amount of time.
I'll have to have a look into it. Well,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
If we do, if it's the case, we'll tell you next week. Well, that's it. It's the end of the show.
Well, you fucking know, wouldn't you, if you're in America?
Well, you would, but I wouldn't. I don't live there.
Neither do I.
Well, there you go.
Well, that's Jay.
But we love you all. Anyway, you've been amazing. If you've managed to last it to this far in the show, then you're an absolute fucking trooper. We'll catch you next week. Like I say, we've got a top episode coming.
Yeah.
You do not want to miss it. No. It's mint.
Yeah.
Also, we'll see you next week. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We've been Never Straight Answer Podcast. Peace.
Son.